Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to the Spirit Lounge. Hope you guys are all doing well and had a good week. It's coming up to Thanksgiving in the US Thursday, so looking forward to a break over here. Well, no, it's a nice day today. So before we start on today's subject, I just want to say a thank you really to everyone who's subscribing. Yeah, I don't have hundreds. I think there's 17 or 16 or 17 subscribers so far, and those many more who actually view the videos. I just want to say thank you, and because it's heartwarming to me, and also it's cliche, humbling, flattering that people would want to watch my videos. Actually, I wrote the book because it was something that it was my own purpose. I needed to get something out that I'd held in for a long time, and it was time in life to do that, and it was pushed from the unseen out of me, and I'm glad it happened. It was a very cathartic experience anyway, and doing these videos are an extension of that. So it's kind of, for me, it was just to get it out there, and having people listen to them and get something from them is an amazing thing. To be able to feel that something you might say may change perception of someone and take them in a different direction, which is, well, it's a blessing really, isn't it? So I want to thank everyone who does listen and graces me with your attention on these videos, and even those who don't resonate with anything or some things, or are indifferent, but still watch. I take my hat off to you guys, and really grateful, because just having an open mind and being just wanting to listen is equally a blessing to me, as well as those who are in resonance with a lot of the things I might say, and helps them move forward. So I'm grateful to everyone who listens. So good, bad, indifferent, you're all welcome. I do like reading the comments that do come through. Not many to date, but I want to say thank you so much for spending the time listening to the videos. So today, what's the subject today? Well, what happens every week is that I don't really think about the subject I'm going to discuss on the weekend when I make these videos, for the most part. But what happens is I tend to, during the end of the week, something comes into my mind, and I start thinking about a subject, or something I may see triggers me to talk about a concept or a subject. And this week was reincarnation and tendency, and I'll go through those and kind of re-explain what reincarnation is and what I mean by tendency. But also I'm going to kind of talk about what happens during the incarnation. What is it that we do, and what's the purpose of it? What's the purpose of the Akasha or the quantum field? How does that work? And to do so, I'm going to be demonstrating it with a tea bag and a strainer and some water. It'll all come apparent soon. Yorkshire tea, of course, and a strainer, so it'll all become obvious later. It sounds a little bit silly right now, but I'm going to be using those props to demonstrate what I'm trying to explain. And the reason I'm going to be doing that is because when I explained the incarnational cycle and what happens to someone many, many months ago now, when I explained it, this tea bag and the strainer came into my mind, and I explained it through their use to help someone conceptualize what happens. A metaphorical analogy, if you like. So I'm going to be doing the same thing today, and hopefully that helps. So let's talk about reincarnation first, and what it is. Well, reincarnation is just really the principle that we live many lives. And people say, well, why do we live many lives? What's the purpose of living many lives? We can answer that in two ways. The first way is, well, there may be an argument out there that people don't believe we have reincarnation at all. We just live a single life. But we discussed many times that the purpose of life actually is expansion, is to return and reconnect with the Spirit and demonstrate through our internal self and external actions, words, thoughts and intents the grace of our true divine infinite nature and the frequency at which that vibrates. Now, that cannot be done in a single lifetime. So it requires multiple lifetimes for that to happen. Now, let's just look at our own lives. Just look at my life. I know I've lived many, but there's no way I can claim that in this singular lifetime I've reached from nirvana of 0 to nirvana of 100%. It's just not. It just hasn't happened. So I don't think anyone can claim this. And we should also understand that there's intent and purpose for all life. It's not just here by accident. It's an evolution from the physical sense, but our internal spirit, which drops into avatars, has intention for life, and it's ultimately to expand. We have the nature within us of conscience, of intuition, of just knowing that we want to be kind and good to each other overwhelmingly. And that comes from somewhere. There's a purpose for that. If there was only just one lifetime that we live and there's nothing before and nothing after, then you may as well just go around robbing and stealing and collecting as much material possessions as you like and living a life of Riley at the cost of everyone else around you, because, hey, why not? Why wouldn't we all do that? The reason we don't do that is because there's something within us telling us that's not the path. It's called our intuition, it's called our gut feeling, it's called our heart, it's called our inner nature, conscience. It exists for a reason, because we are actually here to do much, much more than just exist as just some accidental thing of the cosmos, and at the end just drop dead, and then nothing happens to us. There's no purpose to our lives, there's no continuation to our existence. Our consciousness just eliminates and drops into nothing at all. Now that's the argument for believing in or embracing the concept that there is nothing before, nothing after. We just happen to be here. I happen to be talking to you. Consciousness is really just a creation of mind, and it's just one big jolly, and there'd be no reason for karma. There'd be no really reason to understand free will, cause and effect. It doesn't matter, because it wouldn't matter, because if there's only one life, we can pretty much do whatever we like. There is no karmic balancing to do, if you like. There's no such thing as a quantum field, there's no such thing as the Akasha. Our consciousness is really just our mental thought processes. There's no purpose to it, to intuition, and there's no purpose to conscience. There's no purpose, there's no reason to really be glad to do anything right or to do anything wrong. Just do whatever you like. Because that's really what we're trying to say when we say there's no reason for it. There's no life before or after, and there's only one. It's really ultimately what we're saying there. Reincarnation is a principle that we come here many, many times. We live many, many lives in many, many avatars. Our spirit, mine, yours, everyone else's, has lived many, many, many lives. We've dropped into many avatars with different faces, speaking different languages, being in different cultures, different tones of skin, on different pieces of land, different societal structures, different parents, different siblings, different lives, experiences, expansion in each and every one of those in some way or another, all dictated by our free will and the karma that we've created in each one, cause and effect. We've lived many, many lives, and the reason we do that is because we choose to do that. We choose lifetimes within this universe. The universe is a playground, remember, and we enter it. We enter it and experience it through avatars. We enter and experience it through many different avatars, maybe not even just on this planet, non-human form as well, on other planetary bodies. We come and go many, 10, 100, 1,000 times it really is dictated by us. We can control. We are the masters of that cycle, or how many cycles we have. We come into life to grow. We design each life experience specifically for a purpose. And we drop into that life experience with the intention before we enter it to expand and return to our infinite state and high frequency vibration of life, and how we conduct ourselves mentally, emotional, physical, spiritual, etherical and energetic at highest frequency possible. And we live our lives constantly incarnating until we get to the point where many Hindu spirituality, if you like, release from the cycle of rebirth. What that essentially means is that we've lived as many lives as we've needed to live, to the point where incarnational life is no longer needed, because we have now raised our frequency beyond this third dimensional physical space we're in. The human body, the human sense, the boundaries of perception within the physical state. And we move on to other states of frequency and experience beyond this one. And that's the cycle, that's breaking the cycle of rebirth. That's the purpose of incarnation. Reincarnation is just having many sojourns into life. We choose, we design our parents, we design our bodies, we design where we're going into, the piece of land we're going to be born on, the siblings that we will interact our lives with. There's intention for everything, our social, economic condition. It's all there for a purpose. We pull it all together intentionally ourselves for each life. So reincarnation is actually real. We're all going to find this out. Regardless of what we think and feel now. This is a reality I can pretty much guarantee, but I can't prove to you physically. So it's really it's a matter of perception, I suppose, and opinion. But just think about life in its larger context, because we all secretly are seeking purpose to our lives. We are. Everybody does. Even if they hide it in their deepest recesses because they've pushed it so far down and the light of the infinite spirit so repressed, even in the fleeting of thoughts, those people will be seeking some meaning to their lives at some point, thinking about it. And we think about it because the truth is there is greater purpose to life. We can't block it. It will always rise someday to the surface. It's impossible to block. And that's telling us that there is purpose and meaning to life. There is something else and something beyond, something before, and meaning during life. Think reincarnation is just repeating lives, repeating experiences in different avatars we choose for us to move forward in our expansion in the physical space of the universe. We make the decisions for life in the spirit realm. Remember, everything's connected, but I'm going to be splitting it just because our minds need to separate things. We need to compartmentalize things. We need to put things in boxes or levels or tiers, otherwise we can't conceptualize them very well. So I speak in these terms only because that's how I need to separate it so I can explain it. But remember, everything is one. There is no separation. Everything's connected, is in unity with all else. So reincarnation is the cycle of experience in universal form, or whatever that might be, for us to grow and expand into the true state of frequency that we need to be in when we're surrounded by challenge that challenges us every day to elevate ourselves and change the experience for ourselves and collectively for humanity as a whole. That's what we're here for. And along the way, on these life experiences, we're here to have whatever adventure we want to have, whatever life experience, whatever we wish to do in our lives. Singer, dancer, scientist, pianist, builder, plumber, whatever attracts you as a physical experience here. That's what we do, and we're here to experience things. Our expansion comes from those experiences. Is how we traverse all the challenges and experiences and things that come before us, are presented to us along that adventure, is what determines our expansion. And what determines our expansion is free will, of course, we've discussed. We can either go within or allow the physical matrix to be our complete governor and guide. We can choose to do positive or negative actions. Remember, emotion is the spirit. It's equally love, gratitude, forgiveness, peace, harmony, unity, oneness, grace, as it is love, as it is hate, war, greed, desire, all of those things. We just choose what we do, and that will determine our path in this lifetime and others. And also remember so what happens in our lives dictate future incarnations. Every time, whatever we do, every action, every word, every thought, every piece of balance or imbalance we have will dictate the number of cycles we will have in the future. And everything that we are, have been, and ever will be, and ever may not be, is recorded in the quantum field, or the Akasha, or the Akashic field. The Akashic field is the cosmic library of every incarnation that we have had. From every major event to every fleeting thought, every minuscule action, every word, every thought, every intent, everything we have ever been in any avatar of every life that we've had, could have, will have, is in the quantum field. This is the cosmic library of each and everything that exists. It's an energetic plane, it's an energetic frequency, it's an energetic library of us, of all life. And our avatars that we've ever had exist there. What we've been, our even personality transcends. We are all with it. And our spirit doesn't live in the quantum Akasha field, but everything we've been does. We are one with it. We can infinitely always connected to it, but we are not of it. We are of source. We are infinitely in the one. We are spirit energy, but our experiences are all in the Akasha. So I hope I explained reincarnation first of all. So reincarnation is effectively the cycle of rebirth into an avatar or a body, into this universal playground where we come to learn, to grow, to expand, to be, to experience. Everything that, all that is, source, the divine grace, God, whatever you wish to call it, is all that is. It is the sum of everything that exists, every experience we've ever had. Source experiences itself from itself, and also experiences itself and understands itself from everything that's alive. It goes into the one, and therefore it is within us because we are a fractal of the one. Everything's mixed together. We all grow and are part of the single unity of oneness, of grace, of love, of joy, of peace, of harmony, balance. So we are infinite spirits. We come into many, many lives. Those lives and everything within them are recorded in the Akashic field, in the quantum field. Now, let's talk about what happens when we incarnate. So let's go into let's have a scenario here. So we plan and design our lives when in spirit. When we're infinite knowing and all within everything, all in all that is, we are part of grace. We're just part of the oneness and uniqueness of Source itself. If we think compartmentalized, it's not in the universe. We are beyond this playground. We are beyond all the cosmos itself. We're in an infinite space of all possibility where we just exist as a presence, as a point of perception, as an awareness of infinite possibility and divine presence, a spark of energetic light. It's what we are. We're aware of everything, of ourselves, of all that is, because we are all part of it. There is no separation. It's just one beautiful light of presence. Within that state, we plan, we design our life incarnation that we're about to embark on, and what purpose and intention we want for it. From knowing, because we know what we need to learn, we know what we need to experience, we know what we need to overcome, we know the frequency in which we've reached within incarnational life and what we're trying to go towards. So we design each life intentionally and purposefully to achieve an objective, and it's always expansion. There is no actual other reason why we incarnate. Everything else is experienced within the universe itself that we wish to have while we're here. But the transcendental pieces are expansion and expansion only. We achieve that through our experiences that we have here and we direct ourselves to have here. Everything that is there will come with us, but the thing that truly, truly matters is that expansion, because everything else is a foundation and contributes to that expansion. Now, what happens once we decide a life? We decide to be born in a certain country, a certain culture, certain skin tone, certain language, socioeconomic status, with certain parents, with these spirits, that we agree that with their spirit, who know they're going to be your parents, and the siblings that you'll come into. And this is all designed because it's there to give you the start that you wanted to have, to help you grow into achieving the purpose and intent for life that you decided upon. Now, when you come into life, you pick up what I call tendency. Remember, the Akashic field holds everything that you've ever been, ever will be, and haven't been yet. All possibility that you've created through free will and karma, cause and effect, in everything you've ever done in the past is recorded. There is no escaping anything at all. It's all in the quantum field. And when you come into life, when you come into the avatar that you've chosen and the life that you've designed, what happens is that avatar that you've designed, everything lives in the quanta. And you pass through that and you pick up your suit, your bodysuit, your avatar is there, you pick that up, and you also will pick up and reintegrate the avatar with all of your past unresolved tendencies and repeating paradigms of behavior, actions, words, thoughts, intentions, attitudes, perceptions, everything that you've had in the past, positive, negative, will be reabsorbed into this new avatar. You'll pick it up. And that is what you will enter each incarnational cycle with. Now, think of it this way. Now, here comes the props. Consider this tea strainer, the quantum field. And within this tea strainer is all possibility of everything and anything that has ever existed in life. This tea strainer. This is the quantum field over here. Now, this tea bag, consider this your past tendencies, paradigms, your behaviors, everything you've done, you unresolved tendencies and paradigms, behaviors, perceptions, attitudes, everything that you ever have is in this tag. And these tea leaves represent those paradigms and tendencies. Everything you've ever been, every avatar you've ever been, everything that you've all possibility for you is in these tea leaves. These tea leaves represent that. And they're in the quantum field there, like this. So this is you. This is the cosmic library of you, of your incarnational you. Every person you've ever been, everything you've ever done, exists as a tea leaf in this tea bag, and resides within the quantum field. Every avatar you've ever been, the one that you've just designed that you're going to come into life with, exists in this as a tea leaf in this tea bag. And in here are your past tendencies, paradigms, repeating behaviors. Essentially, every karmic imbalance and everything that you need to resolve is also in here. And you will pick this up. You'll come through this. Your spirit will pass through this and pick up everything that it needs to resolve still from the quantum and Akashic field. So if we look at it this way, I'm just going to put a cup under here so I don't spill it. But consider this water you. And as you pass through this, you'll pick up all your tendencies, and the water becomes brown because it picks up the tea leaves there. It's not completely brown yet because it's just passing through straight away. But you understand the concept here. And the idea to release yourself from the cycle of rebirth is to pass through this and have the color of the tea leaf and the brownness becomes weaker and weaker and weaker until it becomes clear. And that is what happens as you release past tendencies and you release behaviors and patterns, and you grow in expansion and you move forward and you increase your frequency. What you need to pass through to resolve within this tea bag, which is all that you have ever been, all that you are, in the quantum Akashic field, becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. And once it does, you release yourself from the cycle of rebirth, in other words. So reincarnation and past and tendencies are closely linked. Everything you ever do, everything we ever do, is recorded as a tea leaf in a tea bag in the quantum field, if you like. In your tea bag, you're looking to try to remove tea leaves from it because they're no longer tendencies and paradigms that we need to resolve. As you pass through them, the light becomes clearer and brighter. But the more you have in that tea bag, the more tea leaves and strong tea leaves of past behaviors and tendencies, the darker and the more heavy, dense, imbalanced tendency that remains within us. And when we come into life, we pick these things up and we enter life and we have experiences. And our challenge is are we going to repeat those tendencies in every lifetime? Are we going to repeat those past behaviors in every lifetime? Are we just going to keep cycling around, passing through the same tea bag, making those tea leaves darker and darker in every incarnational cycle? Or do we choose through free will to understand what we truly are, to connect with our spiritual grace, and to follow that infinite path and journey to understand what those tea leaves are in our individual tea bag, to help start resolving them, to understand our cycles of egoistic and narcissistic behaviors, our prejudices, our separation. Have we gone into the material world? Are we connected to selfishness? There's so many things that it could be. They're all unique to each individual one of us. Our individual tea leaves are. We only know what are in them. We only know what they represent. We know what's in that tea bag of ours. We need to go within and do this expansive journey, which is the hardest of all, to confront. And what you're confronting is what's in the tea leaves, what's in the tea leaves, and the tea leaves represent in your own individual tea bag in the strainer, which is the cosmic and akashic field. That is what you will look at and confront in the mirror. It's past tendencies, behaviors, paradigms of existence that we've accumulated over thousands of years, thousands of lifetimes, hundreds, tens, whatever it may be. And that's what happens. When we choose to incarnate, we do so from beautiful spiritual light into an avatar, and we will pass through and pick up, in other words, everything that we have not resolved and remain within us, but also those resolved things too. Everything. We pick everything in this tea bag. And the key is, through incarnational cycles, is to, as your light passes through that, the denseness of past tendency is removed, and there's just the lightness of grace exists. And as that lightness within your footprint, your infinite cosmic library record, becomes lighter and lighter and of highest frequency as possible, then you release yourself from the cycle of rebirth that we call reincarnation into this form or any form, if we like. That's the purpose of reincarnation. That's what happens to us when we incarnate. We'll come back and forth through that tea strainer. We need to understand this, that every lifetime matters. Everything we do matters. Everything we say, every action, every word, every thought, every intention, no matter how fleeting, matters, because it builds up lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And tendency is real. It's what I call tendency. It's what I call, they're just past cyclical paradigms of behavior. We can only know what they are and break those paradigms when we decide to discover what they are, and they will be uncovered to you and presented to you if we decide to go on to the spiritual journey. There is no other one. Otherwise, we'll just keep coming back, repeating paradigms, behavior, wondering again in our silent times what we're doing here, what the purpose of our life is, and then continue to repeat existing behaviors just to come back again and again and again and again and again and do it all over. That, to me, is hell on earth. That, to me, is hell. We create it ourselves. That is the biggest punishment that you could ever have. As an infinite spiritual being within each avatar, waiting for its light to be released so it can guide you. Is hell? Is suppressing that infinite light. So we must look at life not just in the vacuum of the now. You need to be looking at life in its entire spectrum of many lives. Look at incarnational life as connected to every other life you've ever had, because it is. It's connected to not only your own, but all the collective, as we discussed in previous videos. Look at them as a journey. Look at them all as connected journeys, because they are. This one that I live now will dictate my incarnational future going forward. Now, they're all happening in the now. We can talk about parallel lifetimes or linear. Let's just stick to linear because it's easy for the mind to understand, coming one after another. But look at them as a whole. Look at your life as a whole. Look at your lifetimes, your multiple incarnationals. Look at your existence as an infinite spread of sojourns into bodily form, into experience, into avatars. Look at your life as you have an infinite record, a cosmic library of you, that there are many things in there that we need to have life journeys to resolve, to come to terms with, to release, to balance. They make that when you pass through this Akashic field, the quantum field, to pick up the avatar you decided to have, the consciousness, the frequency that lives there. You're always connected to it, remember. Make it light. Work on infinite journeys to make them light. Understand that they exist and they will always exist. We all own it. We have to choose what we wish to have. Pointless journeys or those of expansion. And it's always interesting to note, and I was thinking about this today while I was doing my usual cycle ride around the lake. So much of society blames each other for the past. This is how I think about existence. I don't think about it in the now. We blame, let's just talk about movements now. The young blame the old, past generations for the state of what we find ourselves. That could be the planet, society, economics, war, whatever. We don't, collectively, we're not seeing a balanced, harmonious state of humanity. And so much of the young or middle-aged or whatever it is blame the past, blame other people, past or present, for things that happen. But when considering reincarnation, we must remember that you and I may have been one of those people that we hate so much in previous lives. We may have been one of those people that we defame and point fingers at in previous lifetimes, and may have exhibited those same attributes that we now, in these body suits, in our own vacuous state that many of us live in, point blame at. It could have been you, it could have been me. And that's the truth. We don't want to become like that because we're really hating ourselves. Because we're all here many, many times, in many, many avatars, exhibiting different actions, words, thoughts and intents, and impacting our unique and collective experience in different ways, and they're not all great. And so the things and the finger pointing we do to people past and present, they could have been you and I. There's no point hating ourselves. It's not going to achieve anything. So reincarnation gives you, says that look at what you infinitely are, and not the bodysuit that you're in. Because that is the nature of true existence. That is the nature of what we should be looking at ourselves as. All our lifetimes connected, not just unique. And change that tea bag in the tea strainer of cosmic existence. Make it light. Make every life that you have count. Make every moment in this life count. Change just a little tiny bit at a time. Seek to release yourselves from ourselves, me included, from rebirth. That is my purpose. I'll be open about that. And I hope it's something that you guys listening will understand. It's critically important that reincarnation is real. There is intention to life. There is purpose to it because you feel it yourself. I don't need to argue that with you. I don't need to prove it. And actually, I don't argue or prove anything to anyone. It's really not my purpose. I'll merely give concepts, and those who listen can take them for what you wish. But it's real. And the Akashic field holds everything that you've been. And you will pass through it every single time, picking up the paradigms and tendencies of the past. Resolved and unresolved. Everything. And you'll be challenged in every lifetime. You challenge yourself when you come in, because you design it for this purpose, to resolve those remaining dark and heavy tea leaves in that tea bag of yours, to make them light. So as you pass through it every single time, it becomes lighter and lighter. The water becomes lighter and lighter, to the point your frequency is elevated beyond purpose and need to be here anymore. Unless you want to return to help others grow and expand and be service to others, where your life is not focused on personal expansion anymore, but it's focused on the expansion of others. That is true grace. So thanks for listening. I really do appreciate it. I know it's been a little bit of a long video today, but it's kind of difficult to pull all that in. I hope it made sense, and the tea bag analogy and the tea strainer helped. I'd like to hear if it didn't, or if it didn't put it across well enough. I don't know. I can only tell by feedback, really. But do like and subscribe even, and it does help, and I do really appreciate you guys listening and spending your precious time watching these videos and subscribing to this channel. It is truly gratifying, humbling, and flattering that you do. Thanks to you very much, and love to you all. Thank you.